being perpetrated in front of them. No one interfered, no one yelled stop, no one tried to end the horror being inflicted upon this innocent, helpless woman. Instead, they chose to take out their phones and videotape the maddening violence occurring before them. So far, none have volunteered those videos to police. What to conclude? It was for entertainment purposes. We used to say, if you see something, say something. Today, it's see something, say nothing. Folks, not only is this a reflection of how our society is disintegrated, it is a reflection of the dehumanization of crime victims, of a culture that has no feeling for the victim of crime. The "this can never happen to me" attitude is adopted so people feel they are immune, and so they only see the acts through the lens of entertainment. But it gets worse. The rapist had been ordered deported, but an appellate immigration judge protected him in spite of his convictions for drugs and sex abuse. In the end, a woman was forced to suffer because a judge determined the criminal twice convicted deserved to live in America. And by the way, there are no Good Samaritan laws in the United States that require that anyone intervene in a situation like this. Lawlessness in this country is worse than ever. What's different, however, is a sense of permission the criminals have, that they're allowed to vent, to steal, to loot. After all, businesses have insurance, so we let them steal with no consequence, no arrest, no conviction, no jail time. We'll let them burn down neighborhoods and businesses because they want social justice, as if the destruction of property and lives brings them anything. It only hurts victims. Murders are spiked in major Democrat-run cities across this country. Up in cities like Portland, 57%, Austin, 71%, Los Angeles, 65%, Las Vegas, 71%. Children going to buy candy are shot at. A 1-year-old sitting in a stroller, shot and killed. Children in their own homes, in their own beds, a place that they have a right to be, are shot and killed by criminals who don't deserve to breathe the same air that we do. And a 4-year-old girl shot on her way to a toy store in Times Square. In cities across America, police are not only being handcuffed, they're being defunded, demoralized, and told to stand down, ordered not to arrest. And if they do, the swinging door of no bail lets the criminal out to reoffend. Prosecutors funded by George Soros are all over this country. They do not take the mantle of victims. They spend their time refusing to prosecute crime and then release criminals from prison. Bail reform is nothing but a euphemism for letting the criminals out to reoffend, to steal, to assault, and yes, to kill again. And even the title gives the criminal top billing. It's the criminal justice system when it should be the victim justice system. The victim, the one who never chose to be a part of the system in the first place. And parents seeking to protect their children are impotent against a federation of teachers who seek to protect themselves and empower themselves. And when they finally show up to teach our children, they teach them to become little Marxist activists. They're so woke, they seek to allow students to determine their sex based on how they feel that day, which is how a 15-year-old boy in Loudoun County wearing a skirt was able to rape and forcibly sodomize an innocent 9th grade girl in the girls' bathroom at school. And when that victim's dad tried to voice his opinion at the school board meeting on the issue of allowing transgender students into the students' bathrooms, he was arrested, called a domestic terrorist, a phrase that was then taken up by the National Association of School Boards, then made into a poster board that then provided the radical Attorney General Garland with the basis he used to deploy national law enforcement, the FBI, against parents in the United States of America. And let's not forget the border. We don't screen them, we don't vet them. Who among them is a criminal? Who among them is a gang member, like notorious MS-13? Who's a pedophile? Who's a sex offender? Who thinks they're entitled to beat their wives? I want to know who has an alcohol problem, who has a drug problem, who likes to drive drunk, and who has no problem hauling drugs for the cartel. We Americans are left to experience this ourselves because the Biden administration lies and says the border is closed. The border's closed? 1.7 million have entered since January, and countless more haven't even been counted. Have you had enough? Are you disgusted yet? I'll tell you, it just got worse in New York City, with a leftist radical mayor offering $1,000 a month to criminals to not commit a crime. San Francisco is now prosecuting any crime under $950, forcing scores of Walgreens stores, drugstores to close. And now they're stealing from cars, where they smash windows knowing they'll never be arrested so they can keep doing it again and again. And then Atlanta 2 days ago, crime witnesses again videotape instead of calling 911 where a homicide occurs. We are the greatest nation on earth. We are quickly becoming like a third world nation, and we can thank the Democrats, we can thank Joe Biden, and we can thank the leftist mayors and governors for allowing crime to go unpunished. We cannot survive as a nation much longer with this kind of assault on our citizens. There is only one answer to the historic increase in crime and the catastrophic breakdown of morals in our society that leads to people not caring about one another. Democrats who support a leftist, Marxist, socialist agenda, the ones who don't care about us, have to be thrown out of office. It's time to take crime personally. It's time to get angry about crime. If we don't, we will prove Abraham Lincoln right when he said, America will never be conquered by a foreign power. But if we are to die, we die by suicide alone.